Hi, I'm Christy Agari,
And I'm Kimiko Agari.
and you're watching the Oral Surgery Sisters podcast.
And today we are here in Los Angeles with a special guest, another oral surgery sister, Eliane Ortiz. Eliane, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This
Ellie,
is so
it's
exciting.
nice to see you.
I know.
Ellie, the last time I saw you, you were an extern at our residency program at USC, and now you are a full-blown resident yourself at Harbor UCLA. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
This feels like I feel like I lived like 3 different lifetimes. But yeah, that was 2 years ago. And I still remember when I just met you. You were like, hey, my name is Christy, and I'm one of the senior residents here. And you don't have to cater to me. You're good to, walk around and see. And I thought that was really nice of you. Because, most people have, different approaches to externs, but that was really nice. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I kept pursuing this, because I had so many supportive women, like, helping me, just like you.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, whether you're a woman or you're a man and you're externing, I feel like it takes a lot of effort. It takes money. You're taking time off of dental school, time out of your life to come visit a program.
Yeah.
So I never really understood making a rigorous externship for someone who's just visiting and trying to get their feet wet and figure out if they really like it. Of course, we want an extern to know that a residency program can be really rigorous. But in my head, I'm like, no, you're here to like see if you like this and enjoy it and enjoy yourself. And it just never made sense to me that you should like be a dictator to the externs.
100%.
Yeah, goals are to expose yourself to the program, see what that program's about, get to know the residents.
Yeah. And I think in terms of, from the perspective of an extern also, that gives you a clue of if the program is going to be a good fit for you and if it's going to be, a place where you would like to be for 4 years, because that's also important, right? Like not only like training, but also the program culture. And I think that's really important in terms of, at least in my case, my decision was 100% based on if I really liked it and it was going to be a good fit for me for 4 years. So it's ultimately how I ended up here.
Yeah, exactly. Like the program is not short. It's 4 years, 6 years. And so if you don't, if that program is not the right fit for you, then you're not going to thrive. You're not going to learn as much. You're not going to grow as much. You're not going to become after those 4 or 6 years as good of an oral surgeon as you could otherwise be.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, we always learn and just understand better if we are comfortable in the environment that we're in. 100%.
Absolutely. So before you were an intern at UCLA Harbor, their oral surgery program, you have, like you said, you've lived many lifetimes. Can you give us a timeline about like your background and kind of what led you here?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Venezuela, and I went to dental school there at this place called Universidad de Carabobo, where I graduated back in 2018. So then I practiced for a few, and then, my family immigrated, I immigrated. So I came here in 2019. And then obviously when you come here and you're an international, it's not like you can fully practice because you have to go through either, a bunch of exams. It all depends on the state that you want to practice in, but you can either take exams, just like the National Dental Board, we take it before getting into dental school. So I went through all that, taking all my exams, the TOEFL, I got the English proficiency exam, all of that. And then I applied to different programs, but for internationals, it's called Advanced Standing Program. There's multiple ways, there's different programs, but I applied to that one because it's the one that, for me, it would make sense. If I wanted to do oral surgery, I knew I had to get an American DDS. And that's kind of like the only way that in paper you have an American DDS. So I applied to that. But in the meantime, obviously, I was just working I worked multiple jobs, to be honest. So I worked even as a dentist in my country. I came here and I was just like babysitting or just like turning tables at restaurants. And then I ended up being a dental assistant for a few. Then I got this job as an oral surgery assistant, and I was working for a female. So that was kind of like my first
I didn't know that.
awakening. Yeah, I was working for a doctor in Beverly Hills. Her name is Dr. Mizrahi. She's my mentor. I love her dearly and deeply. She is honestly such a big inspiration for me because I saw her like first day on the job. I walked in, and then it was all kind of like a coincidence. Like somebody recommended me to her, and they were like, "Oh, you should go and like try to, talk to her, see if she's looking for someone," because I knew I wanted to do oral surgery. So she's like, "No, I'm not looking for anybody, but you can come and, stay for a day, see if you like it, and then we can talk afterwards." And I'm like, "Sure." So then I went, and she was like, "Oh, when do you want to start?" At the end of the day. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah." And then when I saw her, she's just like this lady, like maybe 5'2", very petite. Yeah. And then I saw what she's capable of doing. And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're such a powerhouse. I want to be like you." And then I ended up being her assistant for a couple of years, and then I got accepted into UCLA, went to that advanced ending program, and then somewhere in the middle, like I started like all my externships. That program is only 2 years, by the way.
Yes.
So everything has to be kind of like squeezed
accelerated.
in. Yes.
Very accelerated.
It's super accelerated. Then I did a couple of externships, and then when I graduated, I went to Detroit Receiving Hospital for an internship, oral surgery internship, which I absolutely loved, and I was obsessed with my intern year. I really liked it. I had a good experience.
Not everybody says that.
I know, but
that's rare.
Yeah, we became like family, like have super good friends. Like my co-residents were like my big brothers. I was maybe like the only female in service for a while, and then I was the only non-cat that was a female too. And then there was another resident that was a female, but she was categorical. But yeah, just being in an environment with like so many men could be a little challenging, but it was fun. Like they made it fun, honestly. And then finally I matched here, and now I'm back in LA.
It's so full circle.
Yeah, it was a full circle. Is. Yeah, totally. So
yeah, no, that's very interesting. And honestly, for me hearing, and I actually just heard this story, your background, when we chatted earlier this week. And so for me, because we both did a much more traditional route, we were from here, and we kind of just continued on and went straight through. So hearing your story is just so inspirational, because you have really overcome so many hurdles just to get to where you are that many of us maybe haven't had to. And so I think that your story is just so unique, and good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is really inspirational to others to know, like, if you can do it, then with hard work and dedication, we can do it. And I'm so proud of you, like everything that you've overcome.
Thank you.
One of the most common questions Kimiko and I get are, how do we get into oral surgery? How do you apply? What do we do? And where do we start? And it's often dental students that reach out to us. They're maybe in their first year, and they really want to know the steps, like truly what to do. And so we always tell them first, like, I think you should just focus on first academics. You need to make sure that you have a good ranking, good GPA, and then you got to tackle the CBSC. But it's also been quite a long time since we have had to think about that process, maybe over a decade. You're much closer to that process. Do you feel like, is that where you would start if a dental student asked you the same question?
Well, I think it all depends if you're going through the traditional route or the non-traditional route. I think in my case, I had it all like kind of like backwards, and I'm like, oh my God, where do I start? Like, I'm already like halfway through this program. Because then, like you come here, and you, even if you don't want to, you tend to compare yourself to like other people. So then, yes, what I traditionally saw that most students do, it's like either at the very beginning of their second year, they start getting their feet wet. So they start just like looking up externships, and that's easy. There's so many resources. Like you can either go straight to the hospital website, and you can search on the oral surgery tab, and then contact the person, like the administrator, and just shoot them an email saying, hey, I'm a student from this dental school, and I'm interested in like coming for a week or two, whatever, an externship, and doing an externship. But there's also there's a PDF with a list of like externship programs that you can find online too. Yeah, you can go to like the Yeah, the Association of the Oral Maxillofacial Surgery, all of that, like it's there. Like there's a tab and you can find it, and then once you click on it, it pops up. And then there's like the contact of every single program, like phone number and emails and stuff, and you can just craft one single general email and then just like send it to everybody, and then whoever responds to you, then
I don't know that maybe they had that when we were applying, but I don't remember.
That. It's just been a while.
Yeah, having that.
Yeah.
I would say, just start there because everything is just like, concentrated or compressed in one side.
Is there a strategy to how many externships you guys want to do? I think for us, it was about 4.
Yeah.
And we would strategize maybe the first externship being at a program that wasn't maybe your highest choice, just to kind of get, all the feels out of the way.
Or
and
one that's traditionally known to be less
intense.
Involved. Like some programs, when you extern, it's mostly observation. And then others, you can scrub in. Yeah, you can take call. It's much more hands-on.
Yeah.
And so maybe one that's less involved from the extern perspective.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say first, do your research, know if the program wants you to have a malpractice or liability insurance, one of those. Some of them ask you to have those. So then in that case, you can just think, oh, maybe they want me to do something like hands-on. Because some of them, then they don't ask you to have it, because if you're going to be just observing, then you don't need to get it. So then that's kind of like you can get clues on what they might ask you to do. That's one way. The other way is just, know that maybe you don't want to go there, but you want to know how oral surgery is being practiced in the other side of the country. So then you can be like, okay, maybe I can take a look on, how things are done in the East Coast versus the West Coast. So that's what I did. So I started, with the furthest away program that I could. And the one that I was like, well, maybe, I don't know if I want to move there, but I want to know how it's done, because the program had a good reputation. So I started with a program that I didn't want to go to necessarily, but obviously if they offer me a spot, like I would go. But yeah, that's kind of like how people kind of like weed it out. They're like, okay, I'm going to go to this program that I might not go to, but I want to see how it's done. Also, they want to see you, that you are willing to travel and, make, the effort to go to like different places. You don't want to stay local only. Yeah. So I kind of like lined up New York, Michigan, LA, Puerto Rico. So that was kind of like all over the place. Yeah. Puerto Rico being the last one, and New York being the first one. So I started with New York, and the way you do it is, well, if you're a dental student and you don't have any time allocated to go externing, because some programs in dental school, they give people time to go externing. In my case, UCLA didn't give me any, so I had to line them up according to my vacations. So every single vacation, I took it for like externing and didn't have like real vacations. So I would be like, okay, if I have a 2-week vacation, either I do a 2-week externship, or I take 1 week vacation, 1 week externship, and then I go visit the city too. So that also would be a good idea, just to like, if you want to explore the city, that would be good. And yeah, that's how I did. So I went in summer, fall, like every single chance that I had off.
Okay. Yeah.
And did you mention before when we were talking, when you go to these externships now, you're expected to have certain letters of recommendation or maybe presentations already put together?
Personal statement.
So that's a good thing about that document, that PDF on the website of the page of the Association of Oral Maxillofacial Surgeons, or I don't know if it's that one or the page for the oral maxillofacial surgery residents. It's in either of those. In one page, there's a whole document, and then it says also the requirements that you need for each externship.
Oh, I definitely don't.
So
know
then, then it says like, oh, for this, you're going to need a recommendation letter. You're going to need like a little personal statement or a statement of purpose of like why you want to do this externship. So I kind of like put together a basic personal statement for oral surgery saying why I wanted to pursue this. And then in terms of like letter of recommendations, I usually ask for the head of the Department of Oral Surgery in your dental school. So you just, or like one of the faculties in oral surgery. Yeah. So that's what I did. I just went downstairs, talked to one of my faculties and mentors, and like they didn't hesitate to give me a letter. So that shouldn't be a big issue, but
It sounds more streamlined, at least. When do dental students typically start going on their externships these days?
So I would say second year. For sure, second year. So then in your third, you have everything ready to go, and you can kind of like apply on your third year. So you know that when you match like your fourth, it's like just a breeze.
That's somewhat early, I feel, because when I was going through the process, I did my first externship as a second year, and I remember some people telling me like, oh, it might be a little early. I'm really glad that I did go, though, because my very first externship, I mean, it was fine, but the very first day, I had this really embarrassing story that I can talk about it now, but but in the past, it was so embarrassing that I didn't even want to think about it. It was so traumatic. So, okay, so basically the first day, you get to this hospital, you don't know where anything is. With that said, every hospital is the same. Like, there's an OR somewhere, there's the oral surgery clinic, but you don't know where they are.
You don't know.
But they're all different still. Like, you could go to 10 different hospitals, and even though you know a hospital, you gotta learn. So they're like, okay, go, okay, little extern, go ahead and go to the OR. I've actually never been in an OR before. I didn't know where this was. I'm trying to do a good job, and I don't even know where anything is. So I somehow like find my way to the OR. I'm just asking everybody I can. I'm sure I'm even asking patients like, "Where's the OR?" I mean,
they're like, "We have no clue.
Don't you work here?" Like, 'cause
You're in scrubs.
But I finally make it to the OR, and I've never scrubbed in before, so I did know the basic. Like, you have to put a scrub cap on, and before you get into the operating room area. And once you get into the OR, you have to put on your safety goggles, things like that. So I'm like, okay, where's the scrub caps? Okay, I found like the little bonnet scrub cap. I put it on my head, and I go into the OR. It's totally fine the whole like rest of the day. I kind of was like, gosh, this scrub cap is like really small. Right. And so I remember like kind of ripping it open, and then I put it on my head. I was like, okay, no problem, good to go. Like, I know all the steps. Like,
look at me.
I'm a newbie, but nobody knows. And so I go throughout the whole day. I meet the whole team because I hadn't met anyone.
Oh my God.
I meet the attendings. I meet the chief resident. I meet everybody. And they're
program director and all.
Yeah, everybody that you're supposed to meet, I met because I was a good extern. And so at the very end of the day, I met up with the non-categorical interns. Like, we're just doing like our end of the day, whatever. And in front of me, the non-cats are talking to each other. Oh, okay. Actually, no. What happened was at the end of the day, before when I said goodbye to the fellow handed me a different scrub cap and was like, I think you're going to find that this one's more comfortable. And they didn't say like what. And so I was like, oh, thanks. Wow, so nice. And so I changed it. I put that one on. And then I went and met with the non-cats. And in front of me, they were like, did you hear there's this one dental student that was wearing a booty on her head? And I was like laughing because I was like, what an idiot. Like,
and you're like, yeah, that was me 5 minutes ago.
I know. But I didn't even know what they were talking about. I was like,
yeah,
what
like
a
the
dummy.
booty.
Because at that point I had changed my hat.
Like, what's a booty?
And it was so funny. It was probably like pointy here. You probably looked like you worked like, you know.
Yeah. And then,
in and out.
It wasn't until I think I got in the Uber to go home, and then I really thought about it and was like,
that was me.
That was me. I was a dental student. And so then called Kimiko. Do you remember the phone call?
She was so traumatized.
So I called Kimiko immediately.
She was like, I need to come back to California. I have to just end this externship now.
No,
I was like, I can't go back there tomorrow.
Oh no.
I was like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. Like, that must have mean that everyone was talking about this, because like the fact that they were talking about it in front of me and it was so far removed, I was like, oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, it's okay. I was just trying to give you supportive words. Like, it's totally fine. Don't worry. Just keep going. Go back there. They forgot about it.
Exactly. This is why you need a sister, because
they forgot about it.
My first externship, I was like, oh my gosh, I should just end this now. They're never going to give me an interview. Like, what's the even point of staying here? But she was like, no, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Fine.
People do that all the time. Like, no problem.
People it, you know.
Which I will
This
say-
is gonna get her through.
I've seen people do that, and
Yes.
I laugh at them.
Yes.
And I think about my story,
And
I'm
you
like,
just tell them like, I was in your shoes,
that was me.
or in your head, in your booty.
It's okay, baby. Here you go. I got you one. I got you.
That guy was really nice.
He
though.
was really nice.
Yeah, but it was funny because, like, fast forward a few months, I would bring it up because I'm like, that's a funny story. Like, it would come up. I'm like, oh, remember that time you put a booty on you?
my God.
She would get so mad.
I'd
She's
be
like,
so
I'm not
triggered.
Yeah, I haven't
be like,
healed from
She-
that.
she's
experience.
not over
Don't
that.
bring that up. So, yeah, she get
Yeah,
mad
I'd
at me.
be like, I can't.
That's hilarious. No, I
Yeah,
know.
so yeah, that's why sometimes dental
That's why
students would be
Christy's
like,
nice to
"What's your
externs."
strategy? What's your
Yeah.
strategy?" I'm like, the first one, make sure
strategy.
it's a place that you don't care about too deeply.
I
Like,
had an interview there.
they did give me an interview.
Oh, okay, great.
maybe
So
for-
They forgot.
the booty wasn't magic.
It's probably because all the residents had graduated and then they didn't remember me.
It didn't get
so,
past me.
yeah, it didn't leave the group chat.
yeah.
It didn't leave the group
that's
chat.
good, that's
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say something really. It's not dumb that I did, and I did it recently. It's just like my immigrant brain sometimes like doesn't, process
enough.
things, like picks these little things up. So I made a flyer for like an annual barbecue at the program director's office, and then I sent it to a group chat, and I said like, oh, everybody's invited to this annual barbecue. And then instead of annual with like two N's, I spelled it with one N. And then this chief like went off on me saying how terrible of a resident I was gonna be because I didn't pay attention to detail, whatever. That night I couldn't sleep, okay? Like I was crying. I was like,
That stays with you.
so bad.
You
Like,
feel really bad about yourself.
yeah, because I was like, okay, it's not like, it's not my first language. And she's like, no excuses. I don't care. This is so bad. But then the other residents started to make a joke about it. And they're like, oh, Ellie invited us to an anal barbecue. And they started to say like, no, that's what they do like in GI ORs and stuff like that. It was hilarious. And then years after that,
Yeah, it's
like I
I'm not
literally
healed yet.
yeah, and
Oh.
then I literally just texted them. I'm like, hey, like I'm coming back. I want to visit you, and then maybe we can do a barbecue that we never got to do. And they're like, well, as long as it's not the anal barbecue, it's fine. But it was so funny. Well, it was traumatizing at the time, but then now it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And honestly, some of these things that they say and mention to you, honestly, just says more about them than the actual situation. Maybe they're going through a lot of stress and
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they really say those things without thinking. Probably.
Yeah.
And for you, or like, for you, you go home and you think about it for the next how many days.
You just
and then
ruminate.
they
Yes.
truly, it's left their mind.
yeah, they're like, oh, I said it. I honestly forgot about you. I don't
Yeah.
even know who you are. Like, yeah, honestly, yeah.
That's kind of just how residency is.
Yeah.
But you build a strong exterior after as the years go by.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is going back to the CBSC. So because it's been so long since we've done it, I think like looking back, I kind of forgot this because it's been so long. But when I went through the process of dental school and applying and taking the CBSC,
Yeah.
I was actually one of the first years that had to take that exam. Before, I think it was in 2012 that it switched. The NBD, it used to be a scored exam. And then that year it switched to a pass-fail system. Yeah, a pass-fail scoring system. And so I think all of the specialty programs were trying to decide how to proceed with their application process because they would use that score, and for certain programs it would be heavily weighted as part of the application process and who to give an interview out to. So then I think I was maybe the second or third year that actually had to take that exam. And so when I took the exam, there was really no information about the exam at all.
Yeah.
Like, when do you take the exam? Where and when is it offered? How do you study for it? What kind of resources are there out there to study for it? What's even a good score? And so I think since then, there's obviously been many more years of dental students that have gone through and taken that test. So there's many more resources. There's a lot more information that's getting passed down to younger years about how to go about taking that exam. And even I think the scoring system has changed since then.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that exam?
CBSC in general? Yeah, sure. So again, I did a kind of like a shorter route where I went to dental school for only 2 years here in the US. So I discovered this exam like halfway through my first year. And at the time, that was already like kind of too late because I had the applications like right there, like around the corner. So I was like, okay, how am I supposed to do this exam that it's only given 2 times a year? So it's either February or July, and that's it. And if you miss your July, then it's like, okay, so it's supposed that you have to apply before September because the application interviews for residency are sent in October, November. So it's like, okay, like your last chance would be actually July, because then if you take February, that's past match day. So then, it's kind of like very sensitive when you decide to pursue this thing because you only have a few chances to take this exam. Whereas before, the exam was kind of like unlimited times to be taken.
Yeah, you could.
Yes.
You could take it unlimited times.
Right now, it's only 6 times. Oh. Yeah, you can only up to 6, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the way you go.
I have heard of someone taking it just to practice, and then they changed it to 6 and they couldn't take it anymore and they were not happy with their score. And they were like, I swear, I just looked at it as like the more times I take it,
the more I practice.
Yeah, the more practice I'm getting in the environment, because just being in a prometric center is like
it's not good at all. I know, it's a whole full-blown panic attack.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it. That's why I say it's better if you start externing on your second year, so you have more times to take it in, February, July. So then by the time applications open, then you kind of like have like maybe up to 4 opportunities to get to the score where you want to be. The score, yes, it used to be like a 3-digit score, then it transitioned to a 2-digit score, and now it's percentage.
Oh.
Yeah. So now it's percentage.
So when I took it, it was a 2-digit score.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a 2-digit too. But I have heard about the 3-digit equating that they would do.
So they try to equate the 3-digit to the 2-digit. So there's a chart that you can look up online, and you can say like, oh, I got a 50%. This in the 3-digit score, which is what med schools.
Yeah, the USMLE step 1 scoring system.
So they really want to know where they're at because, they care more about those 3 numbers for med school. In my case, they obviously care about the percentage. And it is said that, anything above 75 would be really competitive and good to go. But in my personal experience, I know people that have matched with a 45, 50, 55, 50, some. So I don't want people getting too stuck on the idea that they have to have an 80. And otherwise, I've heard so many dental students that have gotten like a 50 or a 60, and they're like, I'm not going to apply. And I'm like, just try. Like, I know people who have matched with a 40. Obviously, they have really strong backgrounds. Like maybe they were like, 2 non-cats under their belt and stuff like that. And it's just like a matter of like being super busy that they weren't able to study as much. I don't know, whatever the reason is. But yeah, I just want to put that out there because I know a lot of people who have matched under.
And you just never know.
You never know.
You don't need to be favored by 10 programs. Yeah. You're just going to go to one program. And so if they give you that one spot, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And you got to shoot your shot.
Yeah, no, I tell everybody when dental students start like venting to me like, oh my God, I'm not going to apply because I got a 60. I just look at them and I'm like, my score was really low when I matched. So I usually tell them like, but on the other side, I have a lot of experience. Like I went through dental school twice. I did like 5 externships. I, did a non-cat. I did really well. People saw that, like she's a really good resident and is not correlating to the score. So all you gotta it's just basically just like prove yourself that you're a hard worker and that you're a good resident. You pay attention. You kind of like learn quick and you're motivated and you're able to go the extra mile to help the patients and help the service run smoothly. And when they see that, they're like, okay, I think she's a good match.
Yeah, good fit. Well, and I think as a dental student who doesn't have all of those experiences, that's what we were told going through the application, or like what I was told going through the application process, that it all relies on the CBSC, which I think for most students, it is incredibly heavily weighted. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, it's just it's just a test like any other test that we've had to take, and there's kind of ranking from that or percentage from that, and the higher number that you get, the stronger you look on an application process when they have no other standardized way to sift through these applications. And so I think my general idea about it is that if you have a really high CBSC score, that'll probably get you a number of interviews.
Yeah.
But once you get to your interview, the score is not necessarily going to get you that spot.
Yeah.
And so if you have maybe a lower score, if you apply, you just need to get some interviews.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can let the rest of your application shine.
Agreed. You just need the door open for you.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That someone opens the door and says, you can come in and sit with us. Then let's chat about it.
Yeah.
And that's when your also abilities to, be social and being able to have a great
player.
storytelling, being a good team player. Because if you're awkward the whole time, like, I don't know, for
Why
them,
do I want to be an oral surgeon?
I'm like, I want to take teeth out, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you can do that as a general dentist, duh. So yeah, I was honestly, a lot of interviews are intimidating.
They are, yeah.
But you go in thinking, they're just people. They're not like, extraterrestrial human beings.
Yeah.
They've been through yeah, I know. But they've been through what you've been through. They have felt the way you have felt before. So you can try to, be appealing to what they're looking for. Like, okay, why do you want this so bad? And just like, try to be passionate about this. Like, this is your goal and this is what you want. Just try to prove them that, I'm willing to do whatever it is to, fulfill my dream. This is what I want to do. And I think I was born to do this. And and hopefully that shows during your interview process. I think also, like, you don't have to be so stiff. Like,
Absolutely.
that's so bad. Like, when you're just, like, the whole time trying to be perfect, I think perfect is not the right thing.
Yeah.
At that time.
So I only have the experience at USC, and also my experience is just in my timeline. It's very difficult to say this is the norm throughout the years and the decades. But with that disclaimer, when I was at USC and I would partake in the interview process, being on the other side as the interviewer. So a little background with interviews. Usually you have many interviews when you are applying for oral surgery and you get in. You will interview with different attendings. Usually they're not all together. So you might have like 8 interviews that day. And one of the interviews is usually just with the residents. So at least from the resident standpoint, we always knew, okay, they're already maybe getting grilled by the attendings or having more serious conversations with them. From a resident perspective, what matters to us at least at USC during my time was the camaraderie, that we're a family, that we can all work together, that we vibe with each other. So during our interview, we would try to ask questions just to get to know the applicants, like, what do you like to listen to? What do you like to do? What kind of person are you? Like, what are you looking for? And so we really tried to help, like, relax them and just have them make sure they were having a good time. But we would get some really stiff. We would get stiff people.
Yeah, you would ask, like, what do you want to listen to? They're like, Words and Beyond in the background at all times. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, and I get to a degree, like, you're nervous when you go to these interviews.
It's rough.
Especially if this is your first interview, or you don't have that many interviews and a lot is riding on that day. Yeah. So I mean, I do get it, but some people just have different personalities.
We had one person that we were trying to let them break out of their shell, and we were like, if you were DJing for us in the operating room, what would you play for us? And they were like, I would play whatever you wanted. No,
we're not trying
it's
to.
You.
This is not a trick
what
question.
You want, like, what do you like to listen to is like what we're asking you. And they were like, oh, it's my choice. I can play whatever I want. It's my choice. And we were like, yeah, it's you. And they were like, oh no, dead silence. I want dead silence. No music in the
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, oh well, we need something because it's not just us
You
in
have to
there.
say something. You have
The
to say something.
anesthesiologist is in there. We have the circulator. We need like a little something so we don't fall asleep in the OR. We need to stay a little alert. And they were just like, no, dead silence. Dead silence. I was like,
I don't think you're getting the cue right now.
okay, this
Next
might
question.
not be a good fit, but okay.
Good job. On to the
And this is,
music.
we all like music here.
I think I would play Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's a good. One.
Like
That's
Under
a
the
good one.
Bridge,
one.
maybe. We can start with that one and then
Yeah.
just like move to something else.
People have always asked, like, what's the answer to that question? I'm like, well, there's no
Oh,
right
no,
answer, but
yeah.
It's not right or wrong.
There isn't.
I noticed that a lot of people like
It's-
EDM.
oh,
But to me,
Yeah.
like I don't like a beat.
that
all
gets
the
me
time-
too pumped up.
Yeah, too much. Like I need
depends
something
the
more
type of
like
EDM.
Cla-
yeah.
I think classic rock is a safe answer.
Yeah.
I think that's very
like
much
Red
a
Hot
safe
Chili
answer.
Peppers
Yeah.
or maybe like Blink-182 is nice.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Not
those are
Britney
so
like
Spears.
that.
Not Britney. No. Although
I mean,
that-
I
would
love
play that in
Britney,
my
but-
OR. I'd be going in my OR, but
definitely played that.
I don't know that I'd say that on my interview.
Yeah,
I would just
fair
be
enough.
like, classic rock.
Fair
I would
enough.
say everybody loves Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. When you play it, it doesn't matter if it's a guy or person.
Yeah,
like
they're
young.
gonna deny
That's gonna turn into
that
karaoke.
they don't
Yeah.
like it, but they like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll see the foot tap.
Mm-hmm.
So you did a non-categorical year in Detroit. Christy and I did not do one. Some people do, some people don't. And so not everybody maybe is familiar with a non-categorical year and how that fits in with the application process. Can you tell us a little bit about what that year is and how that played into your whole timeline?
Yeah. So first, I just want to like premise it as a non-cat year is not a failure. Okay. Like a lot of people love to see it as, oh my God, I'm going to do an extra year. Yes, but you're going to be super prepared when you start your actual program. So to me, at the beginning, it was just like, you know, a lot of people would make comments like, oh, you're going to do a non-cat, so you didn't match. And I'm like, oh, I would feel like a little like bummed out. But then when I started it, I'm like, okay, this is like an asset. Like,
Definitely.
I am building an asset here. This is something that I can offer, and it would be seen as something positive, not negative. So I don't know why people would give it that negative connotation, but I get it that most people just want to go straight into it and not waste time. But to me, that was not wasting my time. So the thing is, you know, as an international, like halfway through my first year, I decided that I was going to apply to oral surgery. I was ready to do it. I took my CBSC. I externed at multiple places, but then I realized my score was not good. So then I applied expecting that I wasn't going to match. So I knew that I was not going to get, you know, an interview or anything, which as a matter of fact, I didn't. But I had an email crafted for match day. So that's important. So having an email crafted for match day, knowing that you didn't match, but you still want to like blast emails to all the programs saying, hey, like I know you guys already picked your categorical residents, but I would like to, you know, apply for a non-categorical year. If possible, if it's available, I would want to get an interview with you, and you can attach your CV, your personal statement, all that. But having said that, the way I did it was I reach out to the programs in advance, just asking, hey, what's your requirement for a non-cat? Just because I was like, well, I knew what my score was. And they were like, yeah, so, you know, we actually want people, and we give priority to people that apply through a DIA pass first. So for that, I was like, oh, so I have to put together a whole application for a DIA pass. So then I did that, submitted my app as if I was going to participate in match. As a matter of fact, like I applied to match. Like I paid and had a match number because they also ask you for your match number. And then once they go through the list of the people who match, they have an unmatched, you know, list. They have people who didn't match. And the programs start reaching out on match day. Hey, I saw you did a match, but we're offering this position. And then if
So they reach out to you.
they reach out to you, but then if you didn't get an email, you know, reaching out, you would reach out to them and you would be like, hey, like I already know, I saw in the list that people already match in your program, but I know that you have a few non-cat spots. Would you be interested, you know, in me coming or me, you know, doing an interview with you just to see for, you know, a good fit, whatever it is. So I had that ready to go. I had an email crafted, all of that, but again, I prepped my application through Pass. I know a lot of people say, no, you don't have to do that. I would say do it. It's safe.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then that's how you get blasted with emails. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that door open. Yeah. So I did that in advance. And then the morning of, you wake up at the time that the match is supposed to happen. If it's like, you know, Pacific time or Eastern time, you know, 10 a.m., it would be like, I don't know. I knew I woke up at 4 a.m. and I started sending.
Really early.
Yeah. And I got call backs at 5 a.m. immediately.
Really?
Yes. So I got interviews at 5 a.m. like from New Jersey, from like St. Joseph Hospital. I got callbacks from UIC, Detroit Receiving. So just like 4 or 5 places like reach out to me saying like first few hours. They're like, hey, we saw your application. We want you as a non-cat. Sure, let's hop on a call. How soon can you do it? And I was like, I'm ready. Like I was like dressed up from here, up here and here. Like I had
5 a.m.
Yeah, I had like PJs, whatever. So they sent me a Zoom link, and then I just put together like, you know, like a formal outfit.
That's really smart because I mean, the people that I know that did non-cats, I don't think they did any of that.
They were scrambling.
Yeah, they got their position much later where
Yes.
they're asking around by word of mouth, not through a list necessarily.
So that still exists. Regardless, I want to know with enough
really
time
smart.
where I want to go.
Yeah.
So what I did was, yes, I reached out to everybody, including the program that I'm currently at. And that was so wholesome to look at, you know, like those emails, looking back to those and being like, oh my God, I was begging for this. So the days that I feel down, I'm like, I begged for this and I got it. Yeah.
I tell people that sometimes where when they're having a really bad day or they're like, I think I'm gonna quit. Look back and there was a time that
you past you
would have done anything to be where you are now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. I started like reaching out, and then Detroit Receiving, which is a place where I want to be actually, because my husband is from Detroit. He has family there. A lot of Middle Easterns in Detroit. He's Middle Eastern. He's from Michigan, but, you know, everybody says Detroit. Same way here in California, everything is LA. Yeah. Same thing. So they were like, no, like Detroit would be such a good fit because we have family there. Let's try there. So I started blasting emails to them like every day. I'm like, hey, like any news on the non-cat spot? And then I started calling. Then I was like, okay, emails, no response. Okay, then I'm going to call. And then I started calling nonstop. And then, they would reach back to me like, oh, we haven't made a decision yet. Yeah. We don't have an answer yet, whatever. And then that was on a Monday. I waited, and then I'm at the car shop one day, and it was Friday that week. And then I get a call, and it says Michigan. And I start shaking. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then I pick up. He's like, hey, this is the program director at Detroit Receiving Hospital. I just wanted to tell you that we saw your application, and honestly, like we were debating, but you work really hard, so you deserve it. So the spot is yours. And I'm like, yes. So I got the car shop. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, that's going to be $1,000 for fixing this tire. I'm like, oh. I know. So, I ended up going to Detroit Receiving Hospital. Great program to anybody who wants to be good at taking teeth out. Really good dental viewer experience, and really good like implant experience as well. They send you to the VA. You rotate through different hospitals. Yeah, it's a fantastic non-cat with a lot of hands-on experience. You're not just like, you know, running consults and that's it. It's a very like hands-on program. The non-cat does like pretty much everything. You run the clinic, run consults. You rotate through the VA some months. You place implants there. It's a lot of experience. I love my program. We ended up like getting along. Like I have like now brothers there that honestly conversations were happening where they were like, hey, like after you match, because they knew they were like, we know you're gonna match. Aww. You're gonna match. Like you're gonna get there. Come on, like don't give up. They would give me like all these TED Talks, and they were like, after you match, do you want to partner with me and open an office here in Michigan? Aww. Like they would like be that encouraging. You know, honestly, like I don't have anything bad to say about my non-cat. They were all really good guys, but regardless, the only girl there for sure. Like the only girl being a non-cat in Michigan at that specific program. It was really good. I learned the ways of the hospital, how to, board cases, how to climb the ladder, and, in terms of like ranking and all that. Like you shouldn't talk to your attending directly. Like you should run it by your chief, and then your chief will run it for you. The culture, I learned a lot about like what to say, what not to say, things, that you shouldn't be just like going to people and saying, and, I learned, how to treat patients. Populations are different here and there. So you got to know how to treat like, maybe like, underserved communities and things that you can recommend and you should not recommend and all of that. How to take call. Such a big shift in my life. Like
from being a dentist.
Yes. First night less sleep. I was like, oh my God, what is this? And then I got used to it. Just like anything. Yeah, you can get used to pretty much anything. So yeah, I think that was a fantastic experience.
Good. That's good. So then during that year, you went through the process of applying again.
Yeah.
And did you take the CBSC again?
I did take the CBSC again. I did a little bit better. Like I went up maybe like 10 points.
That's good.
Yeah, but my score was still considered low. But they look at that. They're like, oh, you did a 10-point jump. Oh, wow. Okay. So you just maybe need more time.
While you're doing a non-cat year.
I want to also mention this. Maybe this is not an excuse for a lot of people, but to me, this is a big thing. I learned English 5 years ago. I didn't speak any English.
Really?
Okay, nothing.
That's wild.
So when I moved here, like I was just...
And that was a few years ago now.
Yeah, so I moved in 2019. I learned how to speak English in 2019. So now imagine like going through like the CBSC, like step 1, all of those books and reading it in English and having to translate it in your brain. That takes double the time. Because it's like you read it in one language and then you have to translate it to another language. Yeah. So it's just like so much time that I wasted just like, like going back and forth. Like, I don't know what this term means. Yeah. Like now I have to like Google it or go into the dictionary.
It is super difficult. I mean, we had an international resident and he's incredible resident. His name's Sina. He's excellent.
I know him. Yeah. He went through my program too.
I whether he was happy with his score or not, whatever his score was, it didn't correlate with the amount of knowledge that he had. We would ask him very like high level medical school questions, and he had just come out of dental school and he knew everything. He always had the right answer. Yeah. And so we were just like, Sina, this doesn't correlate with the score that you have. Not that he had a low score, but it just maybe it was the language. He had also recently learned English too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that adds score is not everything. Yes. And you doing that non-cat year, like you said, it's an asset when you go through the application process. I mean, if we see that like when
Sina, excellent. Yeah.
When they go through the applications and they say, oh, this person did a non-cat, this person did a non-cat, this person didn't, you already know that you're bringing something to the table where you've had a whole year of experience of being an intern in a hospital. And there's just certain things that you already know and that you're not going to have to learn when you start at their program.
Yeah, even if you were hands-on or not, still a non-cat is so useful. It really
to being a dental student. Yes, it's night and day.
Yeah, so you're not going in blindly. Like you already know what you're getting into, and that's my whole point. Like a non-cat is never a bad thing; it's a good thing. Yeah.
So speaking of international students, that is one of the unique aspects about you. Do you have any advice for people who are coming internationally that dream of specializing or being an oral surgeon?
Yeah, there's a quote that I love, and I always look at that. And it's like, if I've seen further, it is by standing in the shoulder of giants. And it's because I found people just like me. And otherwise, I would have never thought that this was possible without seeing other people like me doing it. So I would say for sure, like, try to look up to people that are in your same shoes and have been through what you've been through. I would start with, like, if you're a female and you like reading, I would start with Dr. Kathy Hung's book. I remember I was in a plane and I started reading it and I was sobbing. I'm like, the things that all these women have been through, but specifically her, like she was international as well.
Her book Behind Her Scalpel.
Behind Her Scalpel, it's called. And it's just like memoir of all of these like female oral surgeons that went through residency in a very like male dominated field. And like back in the days that it was way rougher, that is very inspirational. I would say, like try to find mentors, find people just like you. You know, obviously.
How did you find your mentors going through the process?
Yeah, so I just honestly Instagram. A lot of them were Instagram or like if they were online, I try to like find them. It was like borderline like stalker. I was just like, okay, like what is this person's email? I need to find it, and then I would blast an email like, you don't know me, but I know you. Like I've seen you online, and like I really want to be like you.
Yeah, but actually we talked to Kathy. What was it? Was it last year? And we talked to her about her book and her experiences, and we kind of talked about how same exact thing, how for us we've had mentors and people to look up to, whether or not they're in the same path of being a woman in the field, but just mentors in general. And she asked us, she said, how would you recommend finding a mentor? And that's what we said. Actually now a big aspect of it is social media. Like back in the day they didn't have that, but now that's a huge way to, I think, a big component of finding a mentor, getting connected with people, compared to before. So there's just, I feel like there's actually a lot more resources now in different ways that you can find people to.
And this is also going to be maybe a comment that it's going to sound like very like spiritual, but I feel like what's meant to be for you, it's going to find you. I was a dental assistant again, like back when I moved here, and my English wasn't great, and I was just like taking the IMBDE. I was barely starting, and then this front desk lady at this office that I used to work at, she's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm an international dentist. I'm, you know, currently or whatever, like applying." And then she's like, "Oh, I know this Venezuelan oral surgeon. Oh, I work with her. She works like in an office here in California." And I'm like, "So you're telling me like there's someone just like me who's Venezuelan, who's doing what I want to do, and she's here in California. Like I need to find this person." And she's like, "I can't recall her name, but I'm going to find it for you." And I'm like, "Okay." She came back like a few months later, and she's like, her last name is Dr. Verratti. Find her. And I'm like, okay, like I'm on it. And then I started Googling her until like I found her. And her Instagram was private. Like I sent her a DM. She took a while to answer, and then she finally responded because it was like on her folder of like spam or whatever, you know. She's like, "Hey, sorry, like I just saw this. You know, who are you? How are you? What are you doing now?"
Amazing.
Yeah, and we ended up connecting, and she went to Harbor.
No way.
So yeah,
For residency.
Yes.
Wow.
And then when I found out that she went to Harbor was like just like a few years, or maybe like last year. I'm like, "Oh, so you're telling me like this girl went to Harbor too, and she's Venezuelan, and she was also international. She did 2 non-cats before that, and she also did the international program. So she did everything I was doing. So I was like, this is crazy." So again, I reconnected with her through Instagram, and I'm like, "Hey, like I know you're busy. I'm so sorry." And she moved to Florida. I'm like, "I'm willing to just like go to Florida and meet you." And then she's like, "Okay, let's do it." And I went. I met her. Like like now we're like super good friends. And then she mentored me. She's like, "You know, this is the way, you know, they like it at Harbor." So she kind of like gave me also like small tips here and there. And then she helped me for the interview as well. And then, you know, ultimately she also put a good word for me. But like, you know, it all matters. Like she saw that I was making efforts and that I connected
with to Florida.
I mean, it takes a special person to
just fly across the country.
Let me go across the country.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, like, you know, I have family, I have this week off, and I really want to make this happen. Obviously, like, I can take it as a vacation, but I do want to meet you at the time I'm there. And she's like, yeah, let's make it happen. I think I'm going to be off. And then we ended up connecting, and now she's one of my dearest, like, friends and mentors. And so it was meant to be. Like, I cannot see it as something else. It's just like, it was meant to be. This is what God had written for me. And obviously, like, I was very persistent. I had a lot of grit, but I made it happen because it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then you told us about an international student program that you...
Like mentorship that you do for international students.
Yeah, so I have this Instagram page where I put my story out there because I saw the same theme over and over. They were like, oh, this is super hard. I don't think I can be a dentist here. It's so much money, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to stay as a dental assistant. Like, how many dental assistants you have met that they're like a dentist in their country and they're just practicing here as like whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is sad to me. Because, like, you know, you have a passion, you have a craft, and you can't practice it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to put this out there to let them know that it's possible. So I started this Instagram page, like, back in 2021. And I just put my story, like, hey, this is me. I just got here, like, 2 years ago, and I'm trying to do this. At the time, like, I wasn't even, like, accepted in any programs. I was just telling them, like, my daily, like, you know, my hustle and what I was doing and what I was working on at the time. So then this Instagram all of a sudden like blew up and we formed like a little like Hispanic community. It's mostly Hispanic people because awesome, I usually like post stories like in Spanish. And then I have met like so many like oral surgeons that are here that are internationals, like trained with like fellowships that are like, oh, I'm a dental assistant. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Really? Oh. This is ridiculous. Like, you gotta do this. Yeah. So I started to put like more and more stories out there. Like, hey, this person did it and is from, I don't know, Taiwan. This person did it and is from Colombia. Like, you can do it too. And then now we have this network where I mentor international, you know, or foreign trained dentists to let them know that it's possible. Like, they can do whatever they want. Yeah. It's just that it's not traditional. So cool. Because they use as a reference point someone who's traditional, they're like, oh, no, they told me it's very hard. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, you just have to, like,
So would you say most of the reasons that you've come across is because they're not familiar with the process, or they don't know someone else that's
they're not familiar.
They don't know where to start.
They don't know where to find the information. Mm-hmm. They don't have the right information to just go by word of mouth. Like, whatever people say, it's like, oh, what they think it is. So imagine if I would have listened to those people that told me like CBSC is everything and internationals don't get accepted, I wouldn't be here. So because I try to like, you know, inform myself. And I just look up, like, you know, like real sources. And I'm like, oh, it's possible. I just have to do a DDS first. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going to do the international program for foreign trained dentists. I did that. Then I'm like, okay, now that I have my DDS, then I can apply for oral surgery. Obviously, my score was low. So I'm like, okay, where else can I go? And I'm like, oh, no, okay, let's do that. And then I just kept just like going, you know, one door was closed. I'm like, okay, let's go the other way. And I ended up here.
Yeah. Well, I get the sense that that is very much your personality, which I think is what it takes. Like, you obviously are very resilient and you don't see a barrier as a barrier all around you. You're like, okay, this is one barrier. I'm going to go a different way.
Get around this.
Yeah. And not everyone is like that, which is why I just, even just talking to you in the last hour, I'm like, wow, you're just so inspirational. You're so inspirational.
You're persistent. You persevere. It takes a special person to persevere. Not everyone can. Hopefully they have people in their life or a support system that can help them get there, but you really are so inspirational. And we're so proud of how far you've come, and we know that you're going to keep doing great things.
Thank you. I hope so.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here today. I hope that, you know, every time when we visit LA, we can always hang out. Yeah.
And I look forward to, you know, learning from you too, since you are in private practice now and just, you know, doing postgraduate life. That's great. And yeah, that's also part of it. I really want to learn from people that are out there, finish residency and see what their lives, you know,
it'll
look
be
like
you
after.
Really soon, sooner than you feel, it'll come up fast.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, for international students out there, what is your Instagram handle?
Oh, the handle is @dentalstruggle. That's a good one. Because I always like, there's beauty in the struggle. It's a struggle, but there's beauty in it. So you can find the beauty if you just look really closely. Thank you for having me. This was
Thank you for coming.
And now we're sisters.
Now we're sisters.